Hello and welcome to the video. Today's segment is going to be about the Mark 18. So, I'm going to tell you some facts about the Mark 18, what the Mark 18 is, the real steel version and whatnot, and talk about obviously the version I'm trying to make in airsoft form. Now I know it doesn't look much like a Mark 18, but it's going to be my build on a Mark 18. I'm trying to do it as close to a sort of Mark 18 build as possible without actually having to buy too much. I'm trying to use what I've got. So a Mark 18 is a CQB receiver, which means it is not just the handguard that makes a Mark 18 a Mark 18. It's the whole upper. So the whole upper receiver uses the. Someone always messages when I start recording. So the lower receiver is that of an M4A1. The upper receiver is its whole new thing because it has to have the gas parts to make it run reliably and shoot, basically push the rounds as far as possible whilst keeping in a relatively small package. So basically, like I said, the Mark 18 is a CQB receiver. Makes it perfect for CQB, and it's often favoritised by special forces, mainly the Navy SEALs. So it is mainly a CQB rifle. Is what its intended purpose was, because Navy SEALs and other amphibious units, like the Coast Guard, like this rifle, and it makes it perfect for obviously working on a ship and things like that, and on other small patrol boats. However, it can still reach out and touch people, and I'll get onto that in a few minutes. So as I stated, the CQBR, I am reading from some notes I've taken, but a lot of what I'm saying is going to be what I've memorised, because I don't have to keep reading from it then. But the CQBR, or the CQB receiver, is a replacement upper receiver for the M4A1 carbine. So the M4A1 carbine, not the M4A1. The difference being, as a lot of you may already know if you're from the States or whatever, or you just know your weapons, an M4 is quite a bit longer. And by that I mean, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I can't actually remember now, I should have written it down. I think the overall length of an M4 barrel is, I think, 16 inches, if I'm not mistaken, whereas the Mark 18 has a 10.3 inch barrel, which obviously the carbine version of any weapon is obviously shorter. Carbine is the shorter version. So the L85A2 has the L22A2, and that's the carbine version. That's what Prince Harry had in his Apache when he was an Apache pilot. He had a L22A2, which is the carbine version of the L85, because the L85 is a relatively long rifle. Depending, if you're going to be an Apache pilot, you don't want a full length rifle. You obviously want the carbine version, so you can tuck it away by the side of your seat and whatnot. So, brings me on to the next point. The Mark 18 features a 10.3 inch barrel, similar to the Colt Commando, which is a short-barreled M16 from the past. It's not really used anymore. It's the Car 15, which is the predecessor to that. I don't know much about it. I have one, a spring version. Probably not had it on my channel. Oh, I did have it on my channel in my Halloween special. Go and check that out. Obviously it's a shortened M16, basically, sort of. So it has the triangle sight. It has a carry handle that's non-removable and whatnot. It has the triangle handguard. Yeah. That's the Car 15 that I have. Although I'm kind of questioning whether it is actually a Car 15 because it doesn't have a forward assist, and I thought the Car 15 had a forward assist. But either way, let's crack on with this video at hand. So yeah, it was replaced by the Car 15. The Mark 18 entered service in 2000, and it was obviously still used now. It was designed by Colt Defence. Although now, obviously, there are a lot of Daniel Defence Mark 18s out there. The main one that was designed for the military was made by Colt Defence, or designed by Colt Defence. It's a gas-operated rotating bolt, similar to the M4. It's 5.56 by 45 NATO, which means it shares ammunition with the M4, M16, L85s. You know, it's NATO, exactly what it says in the name. It's a NATO round, so obviously it's shared by NATO. Its effective range is around 300 meters, and that is because obviously it has that. The barrel length is small or short, but obviously it's got quite a tight bore. The gas parts are improved for the Mark 18, just because obviously it requires a complete new upper, so it has its own gas parts, and they also improve the range. I don't remember how, because it was a while since I read that. Everything I've written down is obviously from today, so I could make the video. But I've done research in the past on Mark 18s, so I could slightly build my own version. Yeah, but it's got an effective range of 300 meters. Around 300 meters. It's not to be exact, you know. It's around 300 meters. It takes 20 to 30 round Stanag magazines. If you don't know what a Stanag magazine is, I have one here. Obviously, an airsoft one, not a live one, or a blank one. That's a Stanag magazine. The 20 round magazines, I don't have one of those anymore. This would be a 30 round mag in real life. Obviously, it's in the 300 actual round mag, because it's airsoft. But yeah, I don't have the 20 round one anymore. But it takes 20 to 30 round Stanag box mag, detachable magazines. Although it can use the 45 round magazines as well, that are obviously issued out to some militaries. I know that we have them. I've not been issued one as yet, but yeah, we get iron sights and optics. It can use iron sights and optics, obviously. I've got a holographic on here, and it's got its front sight. Unfortunately, I can't fit a rear sight on there because I wanted emergency backup sights, but I can't fit a rear sight on there, and this will not move any further forward. There is a notch there, but it won't sit because of the battery compartment. So I either need a smaller holographic, or I'm just going to not have a rear sight. I also don't like mounting them. I know the riser is a good idea, but I don't wear full face protection, so I like my holographic sat on the lower part of the rail. But yeah, it has iron sights and optics. So there is just to confuse things, there is the Mark 18 Mod 0, the Mark 18 Mod 1, the Mark 18 Mod 1 Block 2, then there's the CQBR Type 1, the Type 2, the Type 3, and then there is the Mark 18 Mod 3A. I'm not going to get into what all of them are. Basically, the Mark 18 Type 1, or Mark 18 Mod 1, sorry, has the triangle sight and the gas block. The 2, oh, friggin', I know what I mean. Has the, I can't remember what it was, but it has the triangle front sight and gas block system. And that's the Mod 1, has a triangle sight, and gas system like that. The Mark 1 has no front sight, but it has the gas block, so it would be like this, but without the sight, apparently. I mean, I've got that off the internet because I don't know much about American weapons, so I do sort of apologise if I've got that wrong. But from what I can gather from Wikipedia, I know not a very trustworthy site, but from what I can get from Wikipedia, it doesn't have the front sight, it has just the gas block. So, don't know how that would look, or whatever. But, yeah, the Mod 1, like I say, has no front sight, has the gas block. The Mod 2 has the flip-up sights, sort of like this, front and rear. The Block 2 is basically an upgraded version of that, so it has the flip-up sights and everything. Although the Block 2 has a full-length handguard, so it comes all the way to basically here on the near the flash hider. Obviously, so you've got lots of rail space and whatever. I would prefer the version kind of like this, really, because then you've got your flip-up sight. Although I've seen, obviously, a lot of them have the actual sight that mounts to the rail. Where mine doesn't, it sits on that, obviously. You can get them to sit on top of the rail, and then your handguard comes all the way to front, and your front sight would sit on top of that. I'm not sure why the Mod 1 doesn't have iron sights. But like I say, it's Wikipedia, so it's not the most trustworthy site. I just wanted to get some facts and whatnot about obviously MK18, so I could make a video. By way of features, I mean, I thought mine was a MK18 MOD1 until I read that. By way of features, mine is actually a Mark II, and that's according to Wikipedia. That from what I can gather from the way the one on Wikipedia looks, they have a Mark 1 and a Mark 2. Well, the Mark 1 has a gas block and no front sight. Mine has a front sight. I mean, no, it's airsoft and whatnot. It's not exactly a Mark 18, really. It's basically just a short-barreled M4. But that's what the Mark 18 is, and I want it to build sort of something similar to a Mark 18. But anyway, like I say, looking at the pictures that are on Wikipedia, there aren't many. There was like 2 or 3, and there was even one showing on an M4. You may ask in a minute why I've got that, and I'm going to answer that question. But the way, like I say, in the way of features, mine would be a Mark 18 Mod 2, not a Mark 18 Mod 1, how I thought it was. To make it back into a Mark 18 Mod 0, all I'd have to do is basically stick this on there. By way of looks, that would make it look like a Mark 18 Mod 0, because it has that triangle front sight gas block system. Just going to go into some small details before I talk about that one there. This is going to be mainly about the real steel version, because none of these things affect the airsoft version as such. First off, the bird cage flash hider with the solid bottom, rather than having these cutouts all the way through, was actually because in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, you've got, obviously when you fire, it kicks up lots of dust and stuff, and obviously if you're a forward observer or anything like that, obviously the last thing you want to do is be seen. So this is here to stop, or reduce, the amount of dust and sand and things that are kicked up. In my opinion, the bayonet lug is obsolete on this version, because the bayonet will not fit. Obviously, there's the lug, there's the can't remember what it's called. There we go, sit on there. Doesn't even touch the muzzle. I mean, it doesn't wobble or anything. Well, it does a little bit, sorry, when I do it like that, but yeah. There we go. I've moved the laser from the top of the rail to the side rail, and I can still hit that. Obviously still get the torch. It gives me more rail space on the top then, for if I want anything on there. At the same time I can still hold the rifle how I want to. Obviously the holographic sight on there. It's pretty much it, really, for the airsoft version. There's not much really to look at. I've got the forward assist, but it doesn't do anything, it's just on a spring. Got the, I changed the silver mock bolt to a black one, so it doesn't shine as much if the dust cover's open. Not that this really matters, I mean, I'm more talking about real life. This is all thing, you know, habits that I've picked up from serving. You know, things aren't supposed to shine, things aren't supposed to rattle. It's trying to, you know, cause me to be seen less, but the bolt really doesn't matter. It's not a real bolt, obviously it's just a piece of metal that sits there. The bolt release does work and everything. And obviously you've got the other side. I've got my little stubby grip on here, so you don't hold it like, I mean, some people probably do, you know, hold it like a proper grip, but I like to hold it just as basically a support. So instead of holding it fully, I like to just rest my hand like that, and thumb over the top, and just, you know, like that. People are going to nitpick and what on my video, but I don't really care. It's to me how I hold it, how I do things. Right, so moving on to this one. This one is obviously not a Mark 18 or anything. I'm not trying to make this one into a Mark 18. This one I'm trying to do as a DMR. So obviously it's M4. It's actually an M4A1, and it's got the full length barrel and everything, as you can see. So I'm trying to make it into a DMR. I took off the other handguard because the other handguard's like really chunky, and well, I don't mind it, but I want this one on to make it like a DMR. Obviously, to make it into sort of a DMR, got the scope on there. On its lowest setting, it's actually got less power than an ACOG or a SUSAT, because the SUSAT and ACOG, well, the SUSAT for definite, is a 4 times magnification. So not a lot really, but you know, it's not really, the L85's not a sniper rifle or anything, so you don't need anything too crazy, obviously. A SUSAT does work. They are a bit obsolete now. The military, the armed forces are trying to change them all out for other things. We've got Alcan Spectres. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I can't remember what he's in the army, and I can't remember what he said they're getting given, but they're moving from the SUSAT to something else. But I know that some of the military have got ACOGs, some have got Alcan Spectres. I've seen all sorts on L85s. But yeah, so like I say, this one I'm trying to do my DMR. It's a 2.5 to 10 times by 40. 2.5 to 10 by 40. Sorry. So you can actually see quite a bit that one, and I actually really like it. It's a V-Life Firefly scope. It's got a laser built into it, so who needs PEC boxes when you've got laser? And that one's obviously got one built in, but that one, you know, who needs PEC boxes, eh? Not me. Although PEC boxes would make it a little bit more realistic in the way of going for that special forces look, because obviously they use PEC boxes more often than not. But I make do with what I've got rather than buying stuff. I use things that I've already got, like torches. You know, I have them lying around. I know it's blue on this one. You know, it's not. That one I'm trying to. That's my main like loadout weapon. So, you know, when I'm trying to be seen whatever. This one I'm just gonna have to make do with the green parts for now until I buy aftermarket things. Because in all fairness, this stock came with this gun, and so did the handguard, obviously. And this stock came on this gun. But what I did was I got that gun first, so I bought the stock aftermarket to change that first off. I was thinking about changing the handguard, but then I got this one, so I thought, it's tan, put the tan stock, and one of my mates over at Havoc Airsoft Squad sent me the handguard, so, that's my sort of riff now, and this one's, it's going to be my DMR, and for now it's going to stay two-tone, because I can't bother to buy stocks and whatnot, and everything. This one doesn't have the MOC bolt inside it, because I took it out and put it in that one, and didn't put the silver one in here for now. You'll also notice that the charging handle isn't on a spring, because I took it out and put it in that one. If you've kept up with my channel, you'll know that the one in that one actually broke, and then so I took it out of there and put it in there, and then the spring off the other bolt broke, and I put it in there and whatnot. And I could have put it in here, but yeah, I didn't. Yeah, then obviously, so I've got backup sights on this one because they're able to fit on there. I mean, I know you'd have to take off the scope, whatever, to do it, but point being, I've got a rear sight and a front sight, so I still have backup sights, whereas that one I only have a front sight, which you'd still be able to use the gun, you'd be able to use it effectively in real life, the real steel would, you'd still, and airsoft really, because airsoft you just basically point and shoot in airsoft. You sort of get a lot of people spray and pray. But my point being, in the real steel world, you'd still be able to use that front sight with that rear sight up to a certain distance. Obviously, depends on the shooter, how good you are, whatever. But yeah, so then, like I said, I got the front sight on there, which has the bayonet look, so I'll put the bayonet on there just for the video, basically. I'm not going to have it on there all the time or whatever, probably not even going to use it really, but then you got the Gripod, which came from my sponsor, Anvil Tactical Airsoft. Go check them out on Instagram. Yeah, check out Havoc Squad Airsoft team on Instagram too. Just type in Havoc Squad and they'll pop up. Anvil Tactical Airsoft. Go check them out as well. Good guys over there. He's come a long way really. He started off as like a small business, and his page, his website has grown, and he's doing well really. He's a really great lad as well. So check both of them out. Anvil Tactical Air Squad, Anvil Tactical Airsoft, and Havoc Squad. In fact, I have my Havoc Squad patch there that they sent me, which was nice of them. It glows in the dark too, but I'm not able to show it on camera because my phone is terrible at picking up this in the dark, apparently. And just in case you guys are wondering, I'm going to quickly show my newest plate carrier. Normally there's a radio in this pocket, but at the minute it's not in there. It's here. Normally that just goes in there. And then I obviously plugged the headset in. The headset's actually wrapped through the thing. Yes, I've got some glow sticks in there. They're all used, but whatever. And yeah, so this has been my Mark 18 video, basically. Or MK18, however you want to say it. I know a lot of people say different things. MK18, Mark 18. I call it Mark 18. That's because we're British, English, and... Oops. I didn't even touch that button. And that's, a lot of people call it. Over here, we say Mark 18. The Sten Mark 5. Spitfire Mark 5. I don't know a lot of people that call it MK. The Sten MK5. Sten Mark 5, Spitfire Mark 5, Spitfire MKV. I don't know who calls it that kind of thing. I call it Mark. You know. So the Mark 18, the M4A1. But yeah, that's been my video, and I appreciate you all coming here to watch this, and I'm probably bored you all to death. But I love you all. Stay safe. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.